HIV does not make people dangerous to know, so you can shake their hands and give them a hug. Heaven knows they need it. What's more, you can share their homes, their workplaces, their playgrounds, and their toys. We all need to be alert to the special needs of those for whom AIDS is the last straw in an already heavy burden of discrimination and misfortune.
In June of 1981, the first cases of immune deficiency syndrome, now known as AIDS, were reported from LA in 5 young homosexual men. Since then, health departments across the world have reported more than 10,000 cases of AIDS and more than 59,000 cases of AIDS-related deaths. AIDS suddenly became the 15th leading cause of death in the US by 1988 and has been named the leading cause of death worldwide. Fear, stigma, and ignorance. That's what defined the HIV epidemic that raged the world in the 1980s, killing thousands of people who may have only had a few weeks or months from diagnosis to death. Only one person took a stand against the epidemic and the stigma it caused.
AIDS is no respecter of colour, class, or creed, nor does it hold international boundaries in high regard. All too soon, we will all know someone with AIDS. A brother, sister, mother, father, son, or daughter could be next. How will we treat them? With compassion and care, or fear and rejection?
Princess Diana was a royal who didn't need a crown to rule. She spoke for everyone, everywhere, in a way that only she could. She changed royal norms and broke boundaries between the people and the royals. As part of Princess Diana's reign, she had a strong sense on how humans should be treated. Diana's personal mission was to bring the monarchy closer to its people. By using her status to bring awareness to the AIDS epidemic, she helped people view the epidemic differently. As the AIDS crisis went on, another problem was occurring. Throughout the 1900s, many queer people were subjected to violent hate crimes. Many people believed that HIV came only from gay men. Across the world, homosexual men were being affected by the virus. They were being pushed out of society more than they ever were even before the epidemic came. Many world leaders ignored the issue as they deemed it as a gay disease. In a Today interview with Jesse Mylan, a gay man diagnosed with HIV, he talks about his experience with HIV. He talks about how people who were diagnosed suddenly disappeared and suddenly didn't matter.
It was hard. It was very hard.
People with HIV and AIDS have been stigmatized worldwide since the epidemic began. They have been avoided by strangers and even their own family members, discriminated against employment and healthcare, and driven away from their homes and subjected to physical abuse. AIDS stigma manifested anger and other negative feelings towards people with AIDS. Diana saw problems in society that other royals didn't. She had a strong sense on how humans should be treated. Diana was seeing that the AIDS crisis was a big problem that was being ignored, and she wanted to humanize the crisis and end the stigmatization behind it. Later on, when she visited Harlem Hospital, it helped solidify her standing as a compassionate young woman who helped raise awareness of AIDS. Her visit caused the ward to lead in an increase in adoption of HIV-positive children. In 1987, the princess visited the London Middlesex Hospital in the UK to open the first unit dedicated to treating people with HIV and AIDS. She did something remarkable that day that everyone would remember forever. She shook hands with an AIDS patient without gloves. The gesture challenged a once common belief that HIV and AIDS could be transmitted by touch.
The princess actually helped get that message across by the mere fact that she wasn't wearing gloves and the mere fact that she shook hands with the patients and myself.
Has that made you feel better about the whole thing at the moment?
But certainly in the respect that the lead up to Princess Diana coming was, will she or won't she wear gloves? And she didn't. I mean, I believe she wouldn't, and she's lived up to what I believed. She knew the facts. I don't routinely tell all the patients I'm HIV. I don't think I have the right to actually burden them with it. But certainly there will come a time sooner or later where they will say the magic words you don't understand, and that's when I can say you're assuming a hell of a lot. I too am positive.
Diana's advocacy to HIV ultimately helped change the stigmatization against it. Diana was the one who paved the way for HIV stigma change, and her acts would be remembered as a turning point in history forever. Here we are, 20 years later, and we're still talking about her, because Diana has become an icon. She changed the rulebook. She tore out pages from that dusty old book, and she rewrote the rules. Diana inspired people to see themselves as they are. She was never afraid to speak the truth,